Welcome to Grand Slam tennis lessons. Nice little pims and strawberries and some stinky French cheese, and the rest are Aussie Fosters and good old American Coca-Cola. Welcome to Grand Slam tennis lessons. We've got two objectives. One is for you to see what are the patterns that the elite do to win those tight 50-50 pressure pack matches, and how you can do exactly the same patterns. And also, once you now see these big point player tactics, you can then watch Wimbledon through a new lens and get much more enjoyment. So the key thing really that we need to sort out right now is John Wooden's quote about the fundamentals. And he says that the fundamentals don't change as you go up the levels of capability. The only thing that changes is your ability to execute the fundamentals with more precision, more consistency and more speed. That's all. So, welcome to Grand Slam tennis lessons. Right, welcome. So this is now the second serve +1. Again, to be consistent, second serve +1 is a two-shot combination. Second serve is not finished until you've done your second shot. It's fair to say it's probably the most pressurized shot in tennis, particularly if it's on the ad side and it's 30-40, and all the time the brain is trying to have a conversation with you. And that gets you into conscious mechanical mode, and we aim to get into non-talking to brain, trust intuitive and relaxed. The aim now of the second serve is to neutralize the opponent. So the first serve was to be aggressive, set yourself up for the backhand cage fear hand, and now we're trying to neutralize the returner server and still set yourself up for the fear hand. So the only way we can do that is by, on the deuce side, having a kick serve, topspin serve, bouncing here, because the aim is to get the ball bouncing by their left shoulder. The harder you push the second serve through and the less angle it is, the more that it won't be neutralized, the more it will be in their hip to be able to hit. So this takes some practice, both of process, technique and self, because it takes something to think of nothing, be bold, trusting for this to happen. And if you're not accurate there, if you're a little bit anxious, nervous and doubting, you will turn your shoulders more, and instead of the ball neutralizing, you find that you just float the ball nicely into their hitting zone of their forehand. At least their forehand will be a forehand, not a fair hand. So, kick serve, run around forehand, particularly if you're neutralizing somebody, you're looking to force them to round about here and then hit into the backhand cage, and that's cool.
First full change of ends.
Good job by Edmund to step his game up, get into this. He looked tight first few games, getting himself together now. Let that arm go now, start popping some serves. Always has that shot.
Had it since he was young.
From the backhand now, it's now obvious, lots of people do it, but nevertheless, your second serve, aiming for here, kick them out past the alley into unusual, uncomfortable zone. Remember, particularly for your opponents, the returner serve rarely practiced. Can't be bothered really, not very enjoyable. Much prefer to run around at the baseline and get hot and sweaty and hit our forehands and backhands. So they're now doing a backhand from an uncomfortable zone, If you look back at the court, you're going, wow, that's a lot of court to cover, and the returner serve looks very different. So again, bounce, neutralise, not much pace, high, force it short, and then run around forehand, which will either be inside out into the backhand cage or short, hit it here. Here is a double-edged sword. If you hurt or win, that's great, but if it's not, you immediately set up an angle in their forehand.
Opens up a little bit, it just gets so much easier. This is where a guy like Edmund, I'd serve volley, you know, do something, you're up 40 love.
Game.
Well, why not just smash a forehand into the corner?
So that's the second serve +1. Once you master it, it's an amazing weapon, but it needs to be practiced, both the process and the self, under pressure, because if you don't do that, the first time you encounter pressure is when everything rides upon it. So that's that tactic. Hope you got a lot out of it. What I'd also like you to do now is just listen to the TV analysts and the commentators and all the media, because come the semi-finals and finals of Grand Slams and obviously Davis Cup, this mythical Greek godlike creature called the big point player appears from nowhere, lasts for the semis and the finals. So listen to all these people talking about pressure and meltdown, and pressure and freedom and relaxed and playing the best tennis of the match. He or she is a big point player, and not one person anywhere says, and here is how you too can be a big point player. Until now. So big point player training is the world's first and only modular, proven, replicable method or system that anyone, any age, can practice and become a big point player. This is not high performance training, this is under pressure training, and affects everybody in exactly the same way. So if this resonates, click here, because we put together, I think, a really helpful guide, 5-step guide, how you can become a big point player. And subscribe to the channel, because we get 2 videos each week, which might be your own personal get out of jail card from that pressure prison. And give me your comments. We respond to every comment. And lastly, please share to your tennis network. We have a mission to get rid of this under pressure mystique and train people on it worldwide, but obviously don't send it to the people that you're wanting to beat.